is human, and to forgive is divine. Having forgiven him, we had no hand there again. We have already let him go. And the Zion is no longer interested in his staying behind. So why he's still there is not known to us.
Just said. Now, Evangelist Bukano Ziobi is the complainant in this matter. Now, when the matter came to court, the matter was a bailable offense. The defendant in this matter, who happens to be Ijele, was granted bail. Now, upon the perfection of his bail, he ought to be out of prison. Now, the complainant in the matter does not have any say when a court of law grants bail. It is out of his. It is no longer within his power to say, "Oh, you must not leave." Once a defendant perfects his bail, the court will sign. The judge in that matter will sign a release order. And once that is done, the defendant in the custody of any prison or a prison authority ought to leave the prison on account of those bail terms being fulfilled. Now, in the case of Ijele, we are very sure that his bail terms, he has perfected his bail, and ordinarily he ought to be out of that place. So now, Evangelist Bukano Ziobi or Zion Ministry has no hand in whatever is holding Ijele at in prison custody to this very day. So we want the general public to know this matter is before Court 7 at the Federal High Court. The Court of Law is a public place. You can go into the court and make your research and make your search. Now, you can apply for record of proceedings. This is a public document. And anybody who is insinuating that Evangelist Bukano Ziobi is the one still holding Ijele in custody is either ignorance of the fact. That's the reason why we are saying the general public that he is not there at our beck and call. We are not the reason why he's still there. He ought to be out, and whatever is keeping him, anyone can approach any of the authorities to find out what is actually happening in this matter. Just as I've said at the Federal High Court, Court 7.
We just want to sound it as a note of warning that the general public should be sure of what they are saying. Do not say whatever based on assumption or presumption. Get your facts straight and do not drag the image of anybody to the mud. Just like my colleague has rightly said, if you are in doubt of any issue of law or fact, you go to the court and make your verifications. Apply for the record of proceedings and make sure before you come online to say anything or make any kind of discussion to drag any image, be sure of what you are saying so that we, the legal team, may not be pushed into action. That is all we have to say on this issue.
In addition, the release order is a public document, and same can be such can be conducted upon same, and to verify the authenticity of same. The release order is there, is before the court. Searches can be conducted. So whoever that is doubting can conduct search to verify the authenticity of the release. That is just what we have to say. Okay. Zion has no hands in his further detention.
And in addition, just as my colleague said, he is no longer in our hands. You understand me? The councils have to do their due diligence. It is not in our making to bring Ijele out of that place. The court has signed his release. Everything has been perfected. So let his lawyers do the due diligence. And the general public is a public document. They should go on and check and find out from themselves that his continuous detention is not the making of Evangelist Bukano Ziobi.
If you listen to the point I made earlier, or my colleagues made earlier, that he has been released, granted, given a bail condition, he met his bail condition and released. But he's not out is because of other cases he has. I also got to know why, some of the occasions why we were in court, I got to understand that police brought production warrants. These were one of the cases that are still keeping him. You also have another case in Abuja. So, by the way, having been granted bail and released, he's not supposed to be there. I'm asking if we have anything to convince the public. Obviously, we have made it clear here that if you go to Court 7, Ikoyi, Lagos, it is for a Federal High Court, Ikoyi, Lagos. It is a public place. that anybody can walk in, you ask for anything, more especially the case of Ijele, that is more of a public concern. You will see, you walk in there and ask of any document. The date he was granted bail in June, the release warrant and all that, you will see it, and why he's still there. So people mentioning either Zion ministry or the Zion legal team are still involved in the case is unfounded and is unwarranted. It is unnecessary attack on the team. But I must tell you, the public has all that. They can do themselves a lot of good by going to the Court 7, Federal High Court, Court 7, Ikoyi, Lagos, and get all the necessary information.
To that, actually, the Federal High Court, Court 7, Federal High Court, Ikoyi, Lagos, just as what my learned friend just said, you can conduct search. Is a public document, because on the last adjourned date, being the 21st day of October, we learned that there are production warrants from other people who are interested in the matter, who he has offended one way or the other churches. There are production warrants keeping him, because the court did confirm that the release warrant has been signed. So whoever that is not satisfied with the present situation as regards to his further detention should conduct a search. The ruling of the bail application is there. The day it was ruled was there. The release warrant, the release warrant from the court is also there.
We want to make a passionate appeal to any other person or any clergyman that he has a hand in holding Ijele further in detention. Like we said earlier on, there was an interview we granted, and we made it specific that our spiritual director, Evangelist Bukobi, has already forgiven him. And we also stated that there are some clergymen that are also keeping him there, because we understand that Ijele had offended some people, and those are the people that are still holding him further. And we want to make a passionate appeal to Living Mission Church, to any other church that may have the desire to prosecute or to continue his prosecution, to tamper justice with mercy. We all are Christians. We all can extend that hand of mercy and forgiveness to him, like our spiritual director, Evangelist Bukobi, has done.
The Zion grant, everybody knows the Zion legal team stand. And there is no any rigorous bureaucracy before meeting us. Our standard there. So you don't feel form is free. Zionites come, we advise them, and that is all. So there is no any rigorous way of meeting Zion legal team. It's conspicuous, they stand.
Yes, additionally, it is a work free. You just walk into the Zion legal team and get attention, your notice taken down on your issues. After explanation, like my learned friend said, we x-ray it. If it is something that can involve ADR, we'll take up ADR and resolve it. So there's no bureaucracy, there is no bottleneck. You walk in, we take up your brief and look at it. Again, the criteria we must consider is you don't just walk in from the blues. You must be a member of the Zion, a member of Zion.